When we look at a final garment, we usually only see the result, the nice fitting, the perfect stitching, the matching colors, but behind every project there are loads of emotions as well, and not always the prettiest one. Things like frustration, anxiety, exhaustion can bring out the worst of you, but don't worry, because all of this is a process and it's part of learning, and it means that you can learn from them and they can do you good as well. Stay with me for a while to see if you felt these emotions. I'm sure you have more than once, whether you're a beginner or an advanced sewer. If you're new around here, my name is Irene. I like sewing about anything, garments, decorations, toys, upcycling, mending, anything. So if you like this kind of videos, consider subscribing, liking, hyping, anything you can think of, and sharing with someone who might enjoy it, because that way we keep sewing. We've all felt this anger when the machine jumps, when the thread breaks, or when your stitching doesn't look sharp at all, and this frustration is inevitable. It's really bad. You feel terrible. Why is this happening to me? I can't do anything right. This is not worth it. These are the only things that pop in your head when you're frustrated. But frustration over time teaches you patience. The patience when you have to start again, when you have to rethink a project. All these little steps teaches you that repeating is not a waste of time. It's just part of the learning process. It's teaching you experience. And of course, every time you try again, your patience will grow stronger and stronger, and it will stay with you. We are creatures of habit, so once you learn this habit, this will go with you forever. So you have more patience in your life. All of these negative emotions sort of go together, and once one appears, the next one just pops all of a sudden, and you can't really control it. So when we said about frustration, it becomes anger. It becomes anger when something doesn't go as you had planned, when you don't see the results you expected. But what this means is that you care. You care about what you're doing, you care about what you want to do, and the results you expect. And with time, all this anger can be transformed into focus. If you focus on the solution instead of the mistake, instead of seeing the mistake and go in circles around it, you try to see different ways out of it. This becomes self-control. And this is ideal because sewing trains you to self-control and you don't even realize it. And this can be forever. And one that is not fun at all is anxiety. When you start feeling the lack of air, the stomachache, and the headache on the sides here, it's really bad, and it's because we're pressuring ourselves to get to some goals. If you cannot achieve something, it's okay. You cannot rush sewing. You cannot sew more than you can in an hour, for example, and you cannot be in a rush forever. So you have to take time. This is what sewing teaches you, that everything takes time and every stitch takes time, and you cannot rush sewing. You cannot sew in a rush, and you cannot rush yourself either, because then things will go wrong. And when you learn to breathe, that your time is still worthy and that you can do things even though you are not doing it faster, it doesn't matter. You start trusting the process, you start valuing all this process instead of only the result. And with this anxiety also comes insecurity. Of course, everything comes together. This insecurity when you doubt yourself, when you don't think you can do anything, when you think you cannot achieve this goal, you cannot sew this properly, this isn't worth the effort because I'm not able to do it. All this insecurity reaches a point when it starts calming down, and with every little stitch you do right, you become a bit more confident. You realize that you can do things, that you are able to do things, and even if you've been sewing for a little while, if you think about a few weeks back, you can see how your progress has been going up, how you manage to do things that a few weeks ago you couldn't. So that's the important thing, confidence. And confidence, of course, like everything, will stay with you, and you'll be confident in more aspects of your life as well. And then there was exhaustion, when you cannot go for any longer because your eyes are heavy and your back is aching because you've been sitting there in front of the sewing machine for a long while, but you still go on for a little longer. Let me finish this seam because that way I can finish the garment, or oh, let me mend this for a little while because my son needs this patch done. All these little steps, all this consistency, all this discipline that sewing teaches you, it's amazing, because it teaches you that not everything depends on the first 5 minutes of creativity when you're all enthusiastic preparing your project, but that the rest of the project is a matter of consistency. It's a matter of hard work and discipline. And this discipline is good for anything in your life if you think about it, because it's good for your house, for your kids, for your work, for yourself, because everything depends on it. So it's really good to have discipline, and sewing teaches you that. And once we finish a garment or anything, a sewing project, we have to deal with perfectionism, which is a trap. It doesn't have to be perfect, at least at first. It doesn't mean that you're not going to ever try to make something better, because every time you try, you are going to make less mistakes. But it means that even though you can see the mistake, it doesn't mean that all of it is rubbish. It means that you have to learn to value your time or the thought you've got into that. It's not all about being perfect. It's about learning, and it's about the meaning of everything. So we have to start to let go and flow a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect just at first. It has to be as perfect as you can at that time in your life. And little by little, you learn to do it better. But you have to learn to flow and appreciate what you've done. Every stitch tells you a story, every mistake makes you learn, and it's so good, because sewing is not just about joining fabrics, it's much more. It's about emotions, it's about how you feel, the process, what you suffer, and what you've learned. So don't forget that all of this makes you better, makes you connect with yourself, makes you deal with emotions in a better way, and this is the best for your life. So don't forget that sewing is much more than just fabric and threads. And don't forget to subscribe and to like and hype and everything, so more people can enjoy it. And I'll see you soon. Bye.